This is the 5 tech things that you should know about, episode number 43 for June 18th, 2010. And it's brought to you by Mozy.com. Welcome to the 5 tech things that you should know about, episode number 43 for June 18th. My name is Jeffrey Powers, and you can find everything over on TVazine, the Association of Geekazine. And we're also on the techpodcast.tv network. We're also on the VodPod network. We're everywhere. You can get us on your Roku. You can get us on your Boxee. You can get us wherever we have content. And now we have a 2-camera shoot. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. I gotta love it. I actually bought a second Kodak camera for this next week because I'm going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, doing the HP Tech Forum, just like we did last year, except we've got a brand new booth, we've got a brand new field. Myself, Andy McCaskey, we're going to be joined by a third by the name of Joe, and he's from Indiana, and we're going to have a wild time. We're going to get a lot of stuff, and we're going to have some very special guests. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your Podcast Madness code for this week is GREEN, G-R-E-E-N. Go over to podcastmadness.com and put in that code GREEN for the 5 tech things you should know. Of course, we participate with a whole bunch of other shows, a whole bunch of other podcasts and video casts to get you a lot of cool prizes, including some great prizes. We're going to give them all away at Blog World New Media Expo, which is pretty darn good. But check it out. That code is GREEN for you. All right, it's your life online. You should not lose it to fire, to theft, to anything. And you should remember that code GEEK, G-E-E-K, gets you 10% off. 10% off what? That's Mozy Home Unlimited. Be able to take your computer and back it up off-site. So you can keep your pictures, you can keep your files, you can keep your audio, you can keep your video. Like all the video I do on the 5 tech things, I make sure it's uploaded using MozyHomeUnlimited.com. You can get yourself a copy. $4.95 a month protects one computer, and it's the price of a hard drive a year. That 10% discount when you use the code GEEK at checkout is going to get you even more of a savings. So back up now, back up often, and back up off-site with Mozy.com. All right, folks, we are going to be at the HP Tech Forum, and I have here, you probably know him, his name is Steve Wozniak. He built one of the original Apples, and he is going to be at the HP Tech Forum. He works for a company now called Fusion.io, and he's the lead scientist there, and he's going to be talking about Fusion.io and their new technologies. Will we get some time with Steve Wozniak? It's not out of the question, but we will definitely have some video with Steve Wozniak, so that's going to be pretty cool. HP Tech Forum, Las Vegas, Nevada, next week. You should check it out. We're going to have everything up on Geekazine, the Ustream video, all the videos that we do, and everything like that. So if you're very interested in this and want to see what Steve Wozniak is like, come over to Geekazine next week for the HP Tech Forum. All right, let's talk about the vuvuzelas, whatever they are. They're little plastic horns that everybody's been using during the World Cup, and they sound like little bees. Actually, I think that they sound more like, how the car hits the side of the road. It's got that little tire sound to it. That's what it sounds more like than bees. But a lot of people are complaining because they've got these 52-inch systems with 7.1 surround sound, and all they hear are zzzz during the matches. And they're really upset at the fact that they haven't been banned. It's a very distracting thing. In fact, if you go to an NFL game, an NHL game, any type of game, any type of horn like that is usually banned and could get you thrown out if you use it. So why not these things? Because one of them, we won't hear it. But hundreds of thousands of them, yeah, you're going to hear a buzz. A lot of people are upset because of the fact they can't listen to the game without hearing that buzz. And they've got the best sound systems out there. Need to work on the technology. There are some, the cable companies have been working on the technology to reduce that sound so you can hear more of the action. They might just want to bring the sportscasters into a different area and pump out some canned cheering just to make it sound halfway decent. I don't know. What do you think they should do? Should they keep that buzzy sound, or should they get rid of it? Let me know. Okay, we're going to talk about E3 because this is, of course, this is the big week of the Electronic Gaming Week, and there's a lot of new cool gamer stuff out there. I'm not really a gamer myself, but we'll throw on some of the stuff. We're going to start with Microsoft and their Kinect little system, the Xbox 360 getting a redesign, bigger, better, and of course, they got rid of the red ring of death. Well, they really didn't get rid of the red ring of death, they just got rid of the red ring. There's still a death, but it's just not going to be called Red Ring of Death. Probably not a good thing for Microsoft. You should always have that because even negative press is good press, I find in this day and age. But anyway, they got the Kinect, so you'll be able to touch around on the air, and you'll be able to grab stuff, and you'll be able to do your activities. They got a really cool video. We did it. We showed it over on the Geekazine podcast video. You can check that out from a couple days ago, and you can see that there. Nintendo came out with a new DS. It's called the 3DS, and yes, it is in 3D. And it comes with like little settings where you can actually change the ratio of the 3D. If it's too close, you can bring it in a little bit better, so it's not as much 3D, so it's not as powerful. Because it's a pretty small screen to be doing 3D off of. It's going to look exactly like the DS, and it's going to have a lot of cool stuff. Another one is the PlayStation. They've lowered the price, and they've come out with what's called the PSP Go. It's the mobile PlayStation Portable, and it will not have cartridges or discs or anything. It's only downloadable content. So I'm wondering when they're going to come out with a 3G version. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, we talked about how gamers stepped up their games to get you better and more content, so you start buying games again so they can get back into the market. This is a great direction that they're going in. So watch out. You should read everything on the E3, especially if you're a gamer, and get into the game. All right, San Francisco has put into effect a new law that basically says we want to stamp on every single box a little bit of a warning saying, hey, you know, you might get radiation into your skull, you might get tumors because you're using this phone. Maybe not as much. Now, I just did an article that talked about all the phones that did it. BlackBerry, the funny thing was BlackBerry Storm was on the low end of radiation, and then BlackBerry, the 8300 series, if I remember correctly, was on the high end. So BlackBerry is good to use, and BlackBerry is horrible to use. iPhone is about on the top 25% of bad phones to have. So they recommend that you use a headset. A Bluetooth headset is still going to give off some sort of radiation, but a wireless or a wired headset to your iPhone is probably the best solution so you don't get all that radiation. I'm not too worried about it. I think we're going a little bit too far on labels. Of course, we know that now that radiation is actually hurting honeybees and stuff like that. We talked about that last week. But maybe they should do something like change the Joan Baez song. Something like, Farmer, farmer, put away that iPhone, please. Don't want you to call the man, I want the birds and the bees, please. Right, let's talk about this. You're seeing an iPhone, you're seeing a guy taking a picture, right? It's not a big deal. But what if the cop did that going down the street while you were committing a crime? Well, this could happen. Actually, I talked about it on the Day in Tech History. Last year, there was a 14-year-old teen that got mugged, and he found out 6 months later that was up on Google Maps and Google Street View, and they got the two guys that did it convicted. So why not bring the cops in and have them with a portable device like an iPhone, a video camera on their person. They see a crime happening, they hit the record button. They see a person, they want to find out who that person is that has committed the crime. They put them up against the wall, they shine a light on them, they take a picture, it uploads to the police department, it does facial recognition, and tells them who this person is if they're wanted. Just as long as they read the Miranda rights, because you want them to run down the street while they're taking video. You got the right to remain silent, or something like that. They'll have to revise all that, but this is pretty cool technology. And for the bad guys out there, not so much cool technology. Speaking of cops, if you've seen this is called Chat Roulette. And basically what you do, you go to chatroulette.com, you get on your webcam, and then you find somebody else with a webcam, and you chat with them. Well, there are some people that decide, well, we want to do something a little bit different. Well, the last article we talked about face recognition. This one's talking about a different body part recognition. Yeah, Chat Roulette is going to implement some new features to make sure that these perverts get off Chat Roulette, including a recognition program that remembers what it sees, and it can then say, hey, wait a minute, this is a bad thing, let's get him off there. Chat Roulette's going to come up with some other cool stuff, and they might just start coming on to Chat Roulette if there's a little bit of regulation. And that is the 5 tech things you should know about. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.geekazine.com. Next week, we will be in Las Vegas. Next week, there will be a show come heck or high water. We will have all the coverage. We will get you a 5 tech things, even if I'm just standing in front of one camera with a microphone. Great. Until next week, you guys take care.